Încă o dată, sărut mâna, bună ziua, bine ați venit la conferința de presă.
Welcome to the press conference of the Sibiu International Theatre Festival. This is edition number 31, under the theme Friendship. A necessary announcement, first of all, of course, after welcoming you all here with us in presence at our press conference. You can find us on YouTube in English and on Facebook in Romanian. Welcome to all the people listening to us live in Romania and the world. We're going to give you all the announcements that we can, the program of the festival, our strengths, the season that we are presenting this year. And of course, we're going to then take a one-day break, if I may call it so that all the spectators in Romania and around the world are able to go on www.sibfest.ro and decide on the performances that they would like to see during the festival. We'll have a lot of indoor performances, the ones that we're selling tickets to, and all the performances that are outdoor in public spaces, which are free of charge. We're also going to have a second press conference, and I'm going to announce it later on. As always, the festival happens under the high patronage of the President of Romania. The main organizer of the festival is the Radu Stanca National Theatre in Sibiu. I would like to thank my team. We have been working together for 31 years. It's a very energetic and visionary team, but they are also very devoted. And they are able to adapt to all kinds of challenges. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples in today's press conference. Now we have the Sibiu City Hall is the main funder of our festival, the Sibiu International Theatre Festival, and I would like to highlight this because few communities in this world choose culture as their driver for development, community development, and as a strategy for development. Now, the County Council has approved everything related to the development of these programs. And I am going to come back later on to the connection that we have. It's a very special connection. This event will be organized with the support of the Romanian government, the Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of External Affairs, the Ministry of Entrepreneurship and Tourism, the Lucian Blaga University of Sibiu, the Romanian Academy, co-organizers, the Romanian Cultural Institute. This action is co-financed by the Sibiu County Council, the Romanian TV Society and the Broadcasting Society. They are co-producers. I wanted to tell you about all these things as a preamble. This is going to be our starting point of the 31st edition of FITS. As you well know, we are going through turbulences, wars, unexpected hits, and the fact that through vision and long-term involvement, we were able to develop a coherent program, a program that has grown every year. And I think this is our biggest accomplishment. From the start, I would like to refer to a gift that we have been making for a couple of years now. And this year, despite of the huge costs, despite the inflation and everything that's been happening in citizens' daily lives, we really wanted for tickets to stay at the same price. The most expensive ticket is 150 lei. And as I go through the performances, I'm going to tell you about certain performances that are sold at 800 to 1,000 euros at home, but we are doing this for Romanian spectators, local spectators, and in general for all the spectators that want to come here to Sibiu. So we are making an effort from this point of view that I think everybody should welcome. As I was saying, I'm going to come back to presenting each structure. As you well know, throughout the years, the festival has happened under the patronage of all the Romanian presidents, and we are happy that the former mayor of Sibiu, our president, also granted his high patronage to FITS. You should also know that we are one of the few festivals in the world, not just in Romania, to benefit from the attention of other presidents, kings, and emperors throughout the world. We've had a festival under the patronage of the now King Charles III. He was back then the Prince of Wales. We've also had the high patronage of the President of Germany. We've been acknowledged by the King of Belgium, the President of France, the President of Israel, the government, and the Imperial House of Japan. And you will find out about a couple of surprises in the festival that we'll be able to enjoy with you. As I said earlier, the Sibiu City Hall is our main fund. I remember the last press conference, last year's press conference, in which you asked me to assure you that the Fabrica de Cultura, our factory of culture, will be bought by the Sibiu City Hall, which has happened, as you've seen. Of course, it was not easy. We are now facing another challenge, that is find the funding so that as soon as possible we are able to redesign the space at Fabrica de Cultura and make sure it is functional throughout the year. We are certain of very serious partnerships that we're going to have, a couple of embassies that will come here to Sibiu. We've engaged in long negotiations with the Ministry of Culture and of European funds. Important Romanian and international structures in such a way that we make sure that our promises will come true. That is, that we're going to find the necessary funding to ensure that the 3 indoor venues and the outdoor space at Fabrica de Cultura are going to be functional. This program is also going to continue through a public-private partnership, hopefully. And we're going to find the means for concrete administration, management of this PPP for the new theater and congress center that is going to be built in Sibiu. I think this is a national strategic objective that's going to bring a fundamental change in our city, our community, and region in general. And of course, the country that we all live in. The Sibiu County Council has always supported our initiatives, which I think shows that we are serious and we have a long-standing dynamic to promote cultural events here in Sibiu, and of course to develop the cultural agenda that you are all aware of. I would like to tell you the following now. Last year, as you well know, during the 30th edition, we wanted all the cultural institutions in our town and in our county to be part of a local season, the season of Sibiu. This was an unprecedented action for a community here in Romania, one of the few such actions in the world that have brought coherence, dialogue, and the capacity to develop a strategic partnership, which of course can become visible throughout the year. Since last year, we have continued serious programs together with the Brukenthal National Museum, the Land Forces Academy here in Sibiu, the Sibiu County Council, the Astra National Museum Complex, the Sibiu State Philharmonics, and the Union of Plastic Artists here in Sibiu, with the Cindrelul Folk Ensemble, Gong Theater, the Casa de Cultura of the Municipality of Sibiu, the Popular Arts and Crafts School here in Sibiu. And this year we have a special program with the school sports club here in Sibiu. And of course, I have to also refer to the Ion Besoiu Cultural Center, because these are basically the spaces in which we perform our indoor performances here in FITS. It's a wonderful show of force, because compared with last year, we have two other performance venues, thanks to three actually, including the Astra National Museum and the Sibiu School Sports Club. I bow to all our partners. I should, of course, also refer to the embassies and the cultural institutes, but in our conference on the 30th of May, we're going to bring all kinds of information about special events, the contribution of each embassy, partners, sponsors, and press relation. I bow to you all, members of the local and the national press. And I have to tell you that all the press, all the mass media here in Sibiu is involved in collaborating with the National Theatre in Sibiu and the Sibiu International Theatre Festival. Hopefully, by the next press conference, we're going to be able to sign all the protocols with all the structures that you represent. And we are happy to have you as our collaborators, and we would like to thank you for everything that you are doing. To begin with, I would like to present to you our communication concept for this year. As you know, through the Sibiu International Theatre Festival, our town has managed to establish unprecedented types of friendship. And it is not by chance that we have this theme this year, friendship, showing that development is possible also when you feel that you are facing huge obstacles. This has happened before. In the 2000s, around 2004, when the European Capital of Culture was approved. Then in 2007, another milestone when everybody thought that we'd have a lot of joy, celebrations, fireworks, without designing long-term concepts. But as you can see, through its European Capital of Culture program and the Sibiu International Theatre Festival and everything the city has developed so far, together with the Radu Stanca National Theatre, we have proved that we have and will keep having strategic programs developed in order for the community to be able to benefit from these projects and these programs. This is why we thought that hashtag Prieten pe viață, Friends for Life, is the best formula for us to launch the festival this year. Last year, we invited everybody to be parte din Miracle, that is hashtag part of the miracle. This year, together with the 70 great personalities that you can find on the Sibiu Walk of Fame, you are all invited to join hands with the most important artists in the world. At the beginning and at the end of the festival, you should remember that we often have over 100,000 spectators, and this is proof of the friendship that we have developed throughout time with the audience here in Sibiu, in Romania, and around the world.
And we invite all these audiences via all our channels, Facebook, YouTube, and yourself, to be part of this lifelong friendship, because for the last 30 years we have tried to provide feelings and miracles to this city. A great author was saying something that's very applicable today in these turbulent times. He was talking to a tree and he said, "My friend, speak to me about God." And the almond tree blossomed. This is what's happening with Sibiu, thanks to the Sibiu International Theatre Festival. Let us take a look of the few highlights of the festival, both indoor and outdoor. This time we'll give you the titles, we'll not hold them any longer. And also the names of the 7 that will have a star on the Walk of Fame. John Malkovich, actor, USA. One of the greatest personalities of the performing arts in the world. You have a brief biography of his. I invite you to use it in your press releases. He made his debut on Broadway together with Dustin Hoffman. So he's first and foremost a theater actor. Then he worked with Spielberg, with Roberto Lucci, Woody Allen, Luc Besson, and so on and so forth. Some of the world's greatest directors and also actors, from Johnny Depp to Uma Thurman and so on. We are happy that even though he couldn't be here last year because he had to go to some shootings, but he will be here this year. And the performance that he will be playing in is much more important than his suggestion for last year. A performance of one of the great Russian directors who fled Russia. The performance was staged in Berlin and it will be very special. That's why we thought it would be good to have it 3 times. We'll tell you later when and how. Moving forward, another famous name, Isabelle Adjani. She will also receive a star on the Walk of Fame. This is a huge name. She is coming to Sibiu with a performance whose title sounds better in French than in any other language. La murmure de l'âme. The troubles of the soul, or something like that. It's how our soul breathes, if you want. This performance is dedicated to poems, to sensitivity, to feelings. And I was very surprised to receive a message from her asking me as a connoisseur of poetry, to recommend to her 3 poems that she wanted to include in the performance. 3 Romanian poems. This was so huge, I was so nervous that I asked her to give me one day to think about it. And I'll keep the surprise for now. I won't tell you the titles of those poems. But believe me, this will be one of the most extraordinary moments. We thought that together with the digital stage and other partners, we should put together a unique project based on this request. And you can see how one challenge leads to another. When I heard this unexpected request, I asked myself, why can't we put something together with all the celebrities that come to Sibiu? We could register at least one poem, one Romanian poem, in an international language, and think of the amazing archive that we could put together with all the 7 names on the alley, on the Walk of Fame, with the other great names that come to Sibiu with absolute premieres. There are also people who already have stars on the Walk of Fame and will be in Sibiu this year. And there are also famous names that will come for the Sibiu Performing Arts Market. And every one of them will register a poem. It will be quite the joy. We have another confirmation. The author that received the Nobel Prize for Literature accepted to have his name on the Walk of Fame, Ion Fosse. This is an unprecedented victory. Then Ofelia Popi and Ciprian Scurtea are playing in a special performance in the festival. And also, together with the university, we've put together some projects that are based on Fosse's works. There's something else that we are developing for next year. We're also striving to get funding from the Norwegian state. So you can see how all the threads of friendship bring us together. Next is a director that we've been courting for a while now, one of the most important directors in the German world. Her name doesn't seem German. It's Suzanne Kennedy. Her performance is absolutely extraordinary. It's called Angela. It will be staged at the Culture Factory, the Fabrica de Cultura. This is another victory, and I would like to thank Vicențiu for how he insisted to bring Suzanne Kennedy in Sibiu. We have a very good collaboration with the Goethe Institute and all the other structures coming from Germany. And later on, we'll also mention some European projects that we've put together. Next is a great choreographer, Anne-Teresa de Kersmakers. She also received a star on the Walk of Fame. Her performance is called Exit Above, and we are delighted to be having her in Sibiu. Her voice is very important and also very little known in Romania, unfortunately. This will be a great, great surprise, but I am convinced that by the number of tickets we'll be selling in a couple of days from now, we'll see how famous she is outside Romania. And I am certain that most of the tickets for her performance will be sold from the very start for people abroad. Next name, a Greek director, Theodoros Terzopoulos, the president of World Theatre Plays. It's a great joy to have him in Sibiu. Throughout the years, there were several moments when he almost came, but something happened every time. I think it's been 12 years since we've been struggling to get him to Sibiu. Now he will be coming with a performance from Italy, Waiting for Godot. Another wonderful performance. And last but not least, in the name of Romania, but also of Germany, where he created one of the most important schools of theater in the world, Atanor, David Esrig, a legend of Romanian and world theater. And now he's coming to Sibiu. In 2006, there was a very special moment when we staged 3 Waiting for Godots, directed by David Esrig, another one by Sibiu Purcarete, and another one staged by the Hungarian Theatre in Cluj. Three very special versions of Godot. It was a huge effort that we made there to have David Esrig in Sibiu at the Cisnădioara fortress with an enormous setup. I remember the soldiers from the Land Forces Academy helped us to put that set together. And we were able to play that performance 4 times. And now we are closing the loop. And we are happy to do that. We are happy to be able to bring David Esrig. Daniel Bucher, one of the most important actors of the German theater from Sibiu, used to be his student. So, as I was saying, nothing happens by chance. We are delighted to have these 7 amazing names added to the 63 already present on the Walk of Fame. Further on, I will give you some other titles from the important performances we'll see in Sibiu. Mihail Baryshnikov is coming back to Sibiu. And the first press conference will be with Baryshnikov and Jan Fabre, 2 renowned personalities. At the same time, we will manage to launch the Sibiu School Sports Club with this installation performance put together by these 2 great choreographers. So every day, throughout the entire festival, we will show 5 performances per day at the Sibiu Sports Club. This is unprecedented. It is unprecedented to have with us both Baryshnikov and Jan Fabre, a possible future awardee of a star on the Walk of Fame. Then, a world premiere. Tim Robbins is coming back to Sibiu. A great surprise of the festival for the Romanian and international audiences. Last year, we listened to Aphrodita and the Liberation of the World in a play reading. This year, he will be coming with his own company, the Actors Gang, to Sibiu. I met him when I received the Angel Award in New York at ISPA, and he paid the greatest homage to Sibiu. At the end of the ceremony, when the representatives of the structures of 780 theater institutions in the world were applauding the 6 persons on the stage, he jumped on stage. Everyone started clapping their hands when they saw him. He stopped them and he told them something. A day before, I had an encounter with him, and we had managed to plan his coming to Sibiu with this world premiere. This was around a tour that was centered in Sibiu. It was, however, a European tour. So he stepped on the stage and he said, I have to confess something. I learned from this gentleman that if we want to be successful in Berlin, in Paris, or in London, we must go to Sibiu first. And it's happening. Next, on the 21st and 22nd at the Culture Factory, we have a premiere by another celebrity from the Walk of Fame, a co-production with the Sibiu International Theatre. This is Pippo Del Bono, and what a joy to receive Pippo in Sibiu with an absolute premiere. Emilia Romana Teatro will be showing a performance by Pippo Del Bono. This is a world premiere, an absolute premiere. And going back to 2006, I remember that I was together with George Banu sometime after midnight in the last night of the festival. We were sitting together thinking of what we should make sure we have in the next edition, what we shouldn't miss. And it was 2006, as I was saying, when he said, you must have Pippo Del Bono. I hadn't heard about him before. And he said, I've discovered him last year in Palermo. He's so mad, so terrible, so huge, that you are similar in a way. And I said, yes, but I want to see one of his performances. Of course, you'll get an invitation for me because he'll be putting together some very special show. And for the European Cultural Capital, there were so many battles. Those of you who were present there, you probably remember that we had 2 separate forms of festival, the actual festival and another version of the festival in the autumn. You know, everything that's happening in the summer is like a pyramid. In the autumn, it was more of a horizontal structure. They came for a whole month and played the same performances several times. It was all very peaceful, very bourgeois. So Pippo came. He didn't like the venue that I chose for him. And at the very last moment, I said, if you want, you can take the Culture Factory, the Fabbrica de Cultura, late at night, after our performance. And he says, yes, I want that. So at 1 o'clock in the night, there were 3/4 of the room was filled with spectators. it wasn't a name that people had heard of. You remember how venues look like at his next performances. There were people everywhere, on the stairs, on the seats, and so on. We are happy to have him in Sibiu this year with a world premiere as well. Next, B-Dance from Taiwan at the Besoyu Cultural Center. It's a company that we've chosen together with Mrs. Gilda Lazar and with JTI for excellence in dance. The company will go to Bucharest and it will also come to Sibiu. As you very well know, we are never egoistical. We are trying to share with the others. We don't want to keep everything for Sibiu. On the 26th and 27th, I must tell you a story about this performance. Colleagues were asking whether we should tell this story or not. We were supposed to have Batsheva in Sibiu this year. I know that you are all very fond of Israeli dance. And we've negotiated for this performance, dance performance by Batsheva. 6 days ago, Ohad wrote to us and he said, Constantin, out of love and brotherly respect, out of friendship for your festival and for you, we'd like not to endanger our presence. Unfortunately, there are signs that Israel will be attacked. Our performances in Paris and in Athens have already been cancelled, and not by us. Think if it wouldn't be wise to postpone this performance for the next year. We are very fond of the audience in Sibiu, and we don't want to disappoint them.
Am avut o discuție cu domnul ambasador.
I talked to the ambassador of Israel. He asked me to give him some time to talk to Mr. Naharin and insist on how important it was for him to come to Sibiu still. And the second day Israel was bombed. He was right. Luckily, we always have famous names. Hervé Cubi has been here before. It's a wonderful French company, very strongly rooted in Africa, though. A friend of mine in New York wrote to me because she's very fond of the festival and of us all. So she wrote to me when I was back in New York. She said, Constantin, you have to go to Hervé Cubi's performance. You cannot miss it. It's going to be performed in the biggest venue in New York, and you really in Manhattan, and you had to go to that. I spoke on the phone to Vincenzo, and he said, but Constantin, as you know, we are negotiating bringing this performance. So of course we're going to bring it. But of course everything depends on the context, the timing. However, as you can see, the fate is at work through vision and inspiration, because we always have a high number of companies that want to come to Sibiu. Hervé Cubi Sol Invictus, that is on the 26th and the 27th of June. Last year, we celebrated Francophonie, 30 years of Francophonie in Romania. And back then, I promised to the president of Francophonie that we would do everything in our power to bring important African performances. This year, we're going to show Cirque Calabante, one of the most relevant circus companies, not just from Africa, but from the world. And the fact that we are able to have two representations of their show, African Cirque, at Yon Besoyu, is unprecedented. Another performance that we're bringing here to Sibiu received an award for Best Choreography and Best Performance in Flamenco. And we're, of course, talking about Rafaela Carrasco, who's going to come here to Sibiu. Then, a world premiere, Barcelona Flamenco Ballet. Carmen is the name of the show. It's such a great joy to be able to bring here to Sibiu two such relevant companies. Then the Molière Award winner for the best theater performance. It's a comedy from France. Les Gros Patinets Bien. Then, one of the most important theater performances. It's actually a show at crossroads, if you want, from all arts. The Employees performance from Poland. Łukasz Tarkowski is the director. He's one of the most important directors of the moment, European directors. He's one of the most sought after, and Vicențiu, I think I'm wrong. I'm not wrong when I say that in 2023 he was awarded an award for the best performance in Poland. We're also opening the Romanian-Polish season based on the Romanian-French season that we had in 2019. This season will last for the whole of 2024 and 2025, and this performance is supported by the Adam Mickiewicz Institute. And you should know that in the big square we're going to have Teatr Kto with three very special representations, an unprecedented gift from us to you. Actually, the Minister of Culture, together with the Romanian Minister of Culture, are going to come here to Sibiu for a special event on the 20th, in such a way that this season is a very particular one, and then during the gala that we're going to have in the courtyard of the Museum of History, well, the minister will be there too. Yuko Suzuki from Japan, then Burgtheater, together with Romanian, born in Făgăraș, Thomas Perle. He now lives in Austria, and he won a prize for writing this text. That is the Carpathians as stains on my skin. Karpatenflächer, that is Burgtheater, is the only theater in the world to be mentioned in the Constitution of Austria. Now, at the State Philharmonics, the best musical performance from the comic opera of Spain. It's such a great joy for us to be able to bring opera shows to Sibiu. It's a performance that was a real triumph in Edinburgh last year. Then, Theatre Vidy Lausanne, from the theater from Vidy Lausanne, one of the highest standing theaters in the world. They are going to present a show as a world premiere here in Sibiu. And of course, the best performance, last year's best performance of Luxembourg by Larissa Faber, of course supported by Luxembourg structures. So here you have a short overview of the best performances that we're going to present. But of course, you will find all the schedule and the costs published on our websites. Ticket prices range between 30 to 150 lei. So the same prices as last year. Please inform the audiences about this. This is a huge effort that we're doing, but we are happy to be able to do this effort, because without all these gifts, I think we wouldn't have so many spectators coming here and enjoying all our efforts here in Sibiu. We also have a very important Romanian season, the premieres of the Radu Stanca National Theatre, of course, other Romanian performances coming here, premieres from around the world, and Europe, of course. We are happy to be able to show all these performances in all the venues that are available here in Sibiu. At the Habitus Cultural Center, we are going to be performing about 3 times more VR performances compared to last year. Again, a wonderful fact, and we would like to therefore thank the Astra Museum for their partnership. We're going to host the play readings at the new center of the Astra Museum that's going to be inaugurated on the 7th or the 26th, if I remember correctly, and then another ceremony on the 7th of May. It's a space that was created as part of a Norwegian project. It's such a great joy to have been able to reach this point and to be able to use both spaces, both the venues at Habitus, for all our performances. Once again, for the audiences in both Romania and the world. When this press conference ends, you should know that you can access www.sibfest.ro. We have their pages in both Romanian and English with all the information that I am presenting to you. All the performances are going to be uploaded, all the prices will be there, and you will be able to design your own schedule if you want, so that you are able to go to both indoor, outdoor performances during our festival. Then, one of the greatest presences of the Festival of Schools and Theatre Schools and Universities. You should know we don't have enough time for me to go through each of the performances that we have available for you. You should know that I insisted that the Beijing Dance Academy comes to Sibiu with another performance, and they will. Once again, they will perform at the Sibiu State Philharmonics. We're also going to have an exceptional musical from Surrey University, the UK. We have at least 30% more performances, and you should remember that the center on Banatului Street will be open during the festival. It's a great joy that the names, the well-known names in our festival are going to present and to hold workshops for all the young artists that are available to meet with these celebrities. You, of course, have a list in your files with all the performances that will be performed in the churches in our city. I believe this tradition that we have now created should be mentioned because it's a unique one throughout the world. When we presented the European Capital of Culture program in front of the Brussels jury in 2002, we showed what a community marked by its own personality looks like, because almost all the confessions in our city are represented in their own churches alongside a couple of streets from the city center to the train station. This is a unique situation. And the fact that we are able to host performances in all these spaces is such a blessing. You should also know that last year all our tickets were sold out, which is a wonderful thing for Sibiu and the festival. You may remember that we brought the harmonicas, a harmonica company from Taiwan. It was a negotiation that was 4 years long. And finally, last year they were here, and we wanted that company to perform in all or most of the churches in Sibiu. And it was a wonderful thing because they enjoyed huge success. Thanks to that, we managed to commission them again for next year, so 2 years after they came here for the first time. And I asked Vasile Shirley to be their consultant in such a way that they are able to come back to Sibiu and capitalize on the strong influences of Romanian folk music, music from each historical region of Romania, all the way to gypsy music, Hungarian music, and so on. Another unprecedented performance that you're going to see next year. So now you have a glimpse into next year's performance. We also have around 40 performances available live and online. As you know, the pandemic taught us that it's great to be able to be engaged in dialogue and to gift our audiences performances. We were the only festival in the world to not cancel their edition of 2020. And this has been an education for us. We have learned what it's like to present each of our performances here produced at the Radu Stanca National Theatre, both live in the venue and online. And together with our collaborators, we have picked, if you want, the best of the performances of the venues here in Sibiu, because these are reasons for us to be proud. The opening will happen at the History Museum, that is the old City Hall building, and it's going to begin with the Madrigal Choir. They will bring us a poem on friendship. Hopefully this poem will turn into a friendship treaty. Because we've kicked off a wonderful collaboration with them, and seeing their vision and their opening, we've also decided to have a closing festival with them. So we're opening the festival in the courtyard of the museum, and you'll see we'll also have extraordinary surprises, a wonderful choreography, and of course last-minute surprises that we are still negotiating and that we cannot yet release to the press. Maybe we'll be able to do that on the 30th of May. We don't know yet, but surprises will happen anyway. And the closing performance in the same courtyard of the Museum of History on Friday at 7 o'clock. And so this is going to be the opening one. And the closing one will happen on the lake stage in the Astra Open Air Museum. At dusk, at 9 o'clock. It's going to be a sign of friendship, ritual, the meaning of place, nature, traditions, customs. Both these performances will be recorded in 8K. No one else can boast such a structure in Romania, and we are extremely happy to be able to gift this wonderful gift. And as a preamble, on the 26th of April, in the Orthodox Cathedral, we're going to show a special performance. Metanie ție, Părinte, as I did at the Palace of Patriarchy, and I'm also going to present the same performance on the 19th in the Cathedral in Blaj and on the 20th at the Cathedral in Cluj. We are happy to be able to do all these things together. So you have the list of performances in your files. We're going to have venues from the Faust Hall to the courtyard of the History Museum. The flamenco shows will be both live as well as online at Besoiu. We're going to have an African circle, then the comic opera, and the performance by Tim Robbins. Then the performance by Yuko Suzuki, the one by De Kersmerker, then we're at Gong Theater we're going to have Burg Theater, as well as an exceptional clown performance, a co-production between Germany and Mexico. Then Vidi Lauzon Theater at Gong. Then another remarkable music performance that's going to be live streamed from the synagogue. Then at the St. Mary Church, a fado and an organ music performance. At the St. John performance, the Cairo Quartet. At the Roman Catholic Church, a gospel and a fado performance. Then at the Ursuline Church, a gospel performance. At the Franciscan Church, we're going to have a tango performance. At the Reformed Church, a special music performance, Spanish root, so from Spain. Then at the Orthodox Cathedral, the Holy Trinity Cathedral, we're going to listen to a concert by the Timotei Popovici Choir. This is also going to be live streamed. And of course, the two performances by the Madrigal Choir at the Astra Museum and in the courtyard of the History Museum. So it's such a joy for us to be able to show the entire world the meaning of diversity, beauty. Of course, the beauty of the performances that we're showing, as well as the places where these performances are going to be hosted.
La zona de outdoor, de spectacole fără bilet, să fie mult mai mare și mai special.
We wanted to extend the outdoor performance stage, because the audience is so manipulated, it's going through so much troubles. We shouldn't forget that we have 4 election rounds. There will be a battle rounds. There will be a battle for every citizen, for every vote. So we wanted to give citizens something. 7 concerts compared to 5 last year. In the first weekend, on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we are happy to provide 1 concert every evening. Holograph, Connector with the Radio Romania Big Band, Bella Ciao from Italy, Litos Band from Spain, Compact and Paul Ciuci, Song for Our Friends, Cântec pentru Prieteni, Viorica and Ionica from Clejani, and Kocani from Northern Macedonia. What a joy to see such a great diversity and so important names. In the Great Square, we opened the festival with a project by People Power Partnership. a performance with 32 young dancers brought together by the Panopticum Theatre in Freiburg. We are partners with them in this European project. These are dancers from the Czech Republic, Italy, Lithuania, and Romania. I don't remember then, was it 2 years ago when we had a performance with mirrors at the Evangelical Church in Turnișor? Or was it was the Evangelical Academy in Turnișor. They have a 11th century church there, which is absolutely amazing. And now we are able to end this project in Sibiu, this European project, and that's a great reason of joy for us. Then one of the most important performances of contemporary circus, the Whale Street. And then Remiu Menage, another great company from France. As I was saying, on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of June, there are 3 different performances. This has never happened before, to have a different performance every year, every evening. But this year, together with Poland and this institute, we have one of the most important companies, the Kto Theatre, with 3 different performances: The Blind, Arcadia, and Peregrinus. It is a great joy for us. Then, on the 28th, 29th, and 30th of June, we have High Up in the Air, performances that will be high up in the year from Spain, Italy, and the Republic of Moldova. These are 3 great companies. I won't dwell too much on them because I want to go through the entire program. In the small square, we have a gift for families, parents, and children, Architects of Air. Remember, a few years back, there was a queue of hundreds of meters in the small square. It was there every day because parents with their children wanted to see that installation. Now, this will be there during the entire festival. We are delighted to be able to offer the audience this experience. You know, these days, citizens are being fed a lot of trifles, a lot of silly things, and we are happy to be able to give them joy. This is a performance from the UK. Next, in the Astra Park. Back in the European Capital of Culture in 2007, and then in another year, I think it was 2014, we had one of the great companies working with fire, air, and water. Now they come with an amazing installation, Travelers Through Memories from Portugal, on the 22nd and 23rd of June. Next, in the Tineretului Park, we have other performances. It's not often that we were able to bring that park to life. This year, we'll have a surprise. A very special surprise, I would say. 3 musicians are coming from Spain, and they will be working with 30 Romanians, 30 people who are familiar with music and with this instrument, the cajon, you know, the instrument used by the flamenco singers. There will be 3 days of workshops in the Tineretului Park. Like every year, the Bălcescu Street, the Big Square, Archivelor Street, and Schiller Square will be for mobile performances. Mihai Mălaimare, together with 3 universities from Sibiu, Timișoara, and Constanța, just like every year, will be present on the Bălcescu Street and on the Archivelor Street and in the Schiller Square. This year, they will focus on one different author from every city: Dimitri Angel in Timișoara, Ovidiu in Constanța, if I'm not mistaken, and Radu Stanca in Sibiu, as it should be. We are thrilled to be able to offer the audiences this experience. I must also thank the County Council and the President of the County Council of Sibiu. This year, they gave a special County Council decision to make sure that this program is also present in the villages from the county of Sibiu. Moreover, together with the Abracadabra Foundation and the Sibiu University, we'll be able to go in 5 different districts of Sibiu on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th of June. A performance known as Play Childhood Theatre. They will be starting in the Subarin Park, but they will also go in the 5 districts of Sibiu. I've already mentioned the concerts in the churches and the Walk of Fame. I think we are close to the end. It's 12:10. It's not even been that long. I was afraid that'll be much longer. It gives us great joy to be able to offer such a diverse and such a rich program during the festival. Beyond anything else, we must take a bow in front of all the team that I have been working with. These times are very tense, very difficult. We've had a lot of premieres. We've had the battle for the Culture Factory. We tried to work on continuing the project for the new theater and the Congress Center. There's also the Cooperation for European project. On the 31st of January, we submitted applications for 7 different European projects with partners from the entire Europe. We are working on several projects with the Lucian Blaga University of Sibiu. And I'd like to say a few words about the volunteering program. We are faced with an unprecedented premiere. We are so happy for the children that fight to become volunteers. There's been thousands and thousands who wanted to be our volunteers. As you very well know, registration starts in September. And the competition has been fierce. I think we have 470 volunteers. But there's also an absolute premiere. Volunteers coming from other countries will be received in 24 different families. This is an unprecedented sign of friendship. There were 12 families last year. I would like to thank them. The number has doubled, and these families have understood how important it is for their children to be with children from other countries, to understand what it really means to face this challenge that we launched. Friends for Life. A few days ago, we were visited by the mayor from Takayama and the president of the local council. they were impressed, or I could say fascinated, by the things that they've seen here. And they said, Mr. Chiriac, next year there will be a world exhibition in Osaka. And if you bring something important there, we'll have a special press conference on that. Well, he said, we really want to make sure that one performance from the Radustanka National Theatre comes to Masimoto and Takayama, two cities in Japan. We are thrilled of all the things that I've presented to you. Many thanks to those who have helped us, the team of Mr. Alinti Paila and the interpreters that are upstairs that have interpreted this press conference in English for the YouTube channel. Many thanks to all those who have helped us put all this press conference online. So I will end my presentation here. From now on, all our spectators from the entire world can go to www.sibfest.ro and you are free to ask questions. I didn't mention the drones, says Mr. Chiriac. We'll have a special cooperation for the drone show. There are two surprises prepared for you.